So after all that, pushing the show back yesterday, an hour, and what ended up being an hour and 15 minutes to repair the ice maker. No ice. No ice, ladies and gentlemen. Still no ice in the house. You know what I've been doing? That. I've been doing this a lot. You know what this is? This is breaking up the ice cube trays in my freezer. That's what we've been doing because the ice maker's not working. So this is the life I live. I know. Everyone feels sorry for me. I know everyone's going to be sending the thoughts and prayers, all the compassion in the world, and I appreciate it. But don't take time out of your day to worry about me, okay? We'll make it. As a family, we'll make it. But I'm just sorry that I had to push the show back yesterday. And all for naught. I mean, the ice man, the repair dude was cool. But this is my cross to bear. Welcome into the show. This little show we like to call the Farzy Show. It's brought to you by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. So much to get into today, ladies and gentlemen. We got tonight the Boston Celtics coming into South Philadelphia to take on your Philadelphia 76ers. This is going to be the earliest. This is going to be a record for the Farzy Show. This is going to be the earliest in a season, any season, I have ever shown standings. Ever. 6 games into the season. I'm showing the standings, baby, because it's surprising to some people, but maybe others not. So we're going to get into that conversation with the Sixers taking on the Celtics tonight in South Philly. I know I always talk about the 82 games of the regular season or just preseason and all that stuff, but when it's the Celtics, it just hits different, okay? So we'll get into that. You know what else we'll get into today? We'll get into my 5 favorite things about the Eagles' first 9 games of the season as they take their bye, a look back on the first 9 games of the season, and just everything that I love about the first 9 games of the season. We'll get into that. A couple of things I don't like so much. And then we'll also get right into this, because if you don't know this already, I got to just start it off with this. Jason Kelce is a finalist, ladies and gentlemen, for People Magazine's Sexiest Man of the Year. Jason Kelce, Eagles center, future Hall of Fame center, is a finalist for Sexiest Man of the Year. Jason, of course, responded to this. This is all courtesy of SportsCenter, by the way. I saw it. I was scrolling on the old Instagram and saw these photos up there. Jason Kelce responded to it by saying, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder." How about that? You know which Kelce brother is not the sexiest man of the year? The one dating Taylor Swift. You know who is the sexiest man of the year? The guy that's the greatest center ever in the history of the NFL. How about that? Love it. I saw it scrolling, and I said, now that's how people need to start their day on Wednesday morning. And there you go. Now, other finalists that he's trying to beat out, Usher, okay, Lenny Kravitz, Pedro Pascal, okay. There's a couple other guys on there that are trying to beat out our man Jason Kelce, and I just don't. You know, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. Timothy Chalamet. Can Timothy Chalamet block a linebacker? I don't think so. Please. And Jamie Foxx. So Jamie Foxx, Lenny Kravitz, Pedro Pascal, Timothy Chalamet, and Usher. That's who's going up against this man. Sexiest man alive was a huge. Is that on? Like, I guess yes. You get the title. It's still cool, but I put it in the same category as like when I was a kid and you get the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Like dad subscribed to Sports Illustrated, so you get the Sports Illustrated and you flip through and see if there's anything about a Philadelphia team in there or a Philadelphia athlete, right? And it was always, I remember it was always at the tail end of basketball season when I was a kid. We were playing basketball on, and it would be like, "Did you guys get it yet? Did you get what? Did you get the swimsuit? Did you guys get the swimsuit issue yet?" Yeah, we all got it. Go to the mailbox. It would be in that glossy, like finer quality printed magazine. And it was all, from what I remember, it was always like the early, it was like early in the year. It'd be maybe right around Christmas time, maybe a little bit into January. It was like early, and you'd go down to the mailbox and there'd be so anyway, I remember it would be the sexiest man alive, and that would be my mom's People magazine. And then it would be the swimsuit issue. That would be my dad's. That would be, me and my brother. Look at the swimsuit issue. But is the People magazine Sexiest Man Alive still that big a deal? I feel like anything in a magazine isn't that big a deal anymore. It's got to be online. Not that People magazine isn't online anymore, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Jason Kelce. I tell you all that to tell you this. Jason Kelce, Sexiest Man Alive finalist. With guys that are not at all like him. Timothy Chalamet? Not so much. Usher, well, you know what? Usher and Lenny Kravitz, they're both singers. Jamie Foxx can sing. Jamie Foxx is insanely talented. But I'm going Jason Kelce. I'm picking Jason Kelce after over all those fellas. So good morning with that. All right. I will get into the Sixers game tonight because I am very excited for Sixers Celtics tonight. But first, I want to go over 5 things that I really love about this football season. And the Eagles are sitting right now at 8-1, best record in the NFL. And let's just get that out of the way. The best part about it is that they're 8-1. I mean, everything else is a nice story. But the thing that's really incredible is the fact that they are 8-1, and for the second consecutive year, the best team in the NFL. Jalen Hurts, here's number 2. Jalen Hurts, although you look at the interceptions this year, you look at the turnovers this year, I know the Jets game exists, so I'm not just going to push it aside, but for the sake of being talking about the 5 favorite things that I really love about the season, right there is Jalen Hurts. Fighting through this injury, how he has rallied his team, how this team has his back, how this team plays for him, how this team gets up for him. Jalen Hurts, absolutely love what he's been bringing to the table so far this year. And the fact that we have seen him turn the ball over more, but this team is still winning, is a testament to him coming up clutch in the fourth quarter when it matters most, and the team coming up clutch in the fourth quarter when it matters most. When you go down so many times at halftime and rally back the amount of times you have, what is it, 7 straight now? That's pretty incredible. And for this team to be able to find that gear of pushing all else aside, all negativity aside, and I'm not talking about talking negative, I'm about negative things that happen throughout the first half, and push it aside and say, all right, it's go time, and to rally back like they have so many times this season and last season is incredible. And that all starts and ends with their quarterback. So that is something that I have very much enjoyed. The fact that Jalen Hurts is the youngest quarterback since the NFL merger in 1970 to start back-to-back seasons at 8-1 or better. How do you not love that? Because that's what Jalen Hurts has done so far this season. The third thing I love about this, Sean Desai. I know we might have got a little lucky there against the Cowboys in certain instances, or the Cowboys simply cowboyed and did what they do best, which is just to choke. They choked. But throughout this season, I have seen this Eagles defense look a hell of a lot better than I've seen it in years past. And second half adjustments made by Sean Desai have helped tremendously. Keep in mind, my 2 biggest questions, and I know a lot of your biggest questions as well, revolved around your new coordinators. Whether or not Brian Johnson was going to live up to Sean Desai. Excuse me. Whether Brian Johnson was going to live up to Shane Steichen. So far, not so much. And whether or not Sean Desai was going to be better than Jonathan Gannon. Sean Desai is better than Jonathan Gannon. When I talk about adjustments, the first thing that jumps to mind is going up against the Rams that just had Cooper Kupp come off IR. Going up against the Rams when they already had who was at the time second leading receiver in the NFL, second only to Justin Jefferson and Puka Nacua. And Cooper Kupp in the first half runs all over you. 96 yards, 5 catches. Second half, no more of that. Second half, 2 catches, 25 yards. That's how you shut someone down. That is, I know you always talk about, don't look at the box score. Oh, in this case, you can kind of look at the box score because this is directly it reflects what you did in that second half in order to take out a guy like Cooper Kupp from the game plan and take him away as a weapon to Matthew Stafford. That right there, Sean Desai. The aggression has been there off defensively in terms of blitzing. He's not afraid to send that safety blitz. He's not afraid to have the linebacker blitz. He gets pressure with his front 4. He'll send 5. It's been tremendous, and it would be even better. It would be even better right now in the league standings if you had Hassan Reddick healthy. for the entire season, 100% healthy for the entire season, which hasn't been the case, as we all know. The minute he got that cast off, he has 6.5 sacks in the month of October. Funny how that works. And the Eagles right now are on pace for another 50-sack season. That doesn't sound like a lot after he had 70 a year ago, all right? But that's still pretty damn good. And they're ranked 4th in the NFL with 30 sacks. The only teams that have more sacks than them are the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the LA Chargers. And then the Eagles are right there at 30. So I love what I've seen so far from Sean Desai. And let's not forget that this is with a rotation of nickel corners. This is using James Bradbury in the slot for a brief amount of time. This is with a rookie nickel corner that's really a safety in Sidney Brown that's been playing more than a handful of snaps at the nickel corner position. Bringing in Bradley Roby, he gets hurt. This is a rotation of safeties at the same time. Whether you're talking about Justin Evans, Terrell Edmonds in there, and now you have a 2-time All-Pro. It is pretty amazing what this team has done so far in the NFL when it comes to their defense. So, Sean Desai, hat tip to you. On that same note, the fourth quarter sacks are the fourth thing I love most about this team at the bye week. You go up against the Rams. You go up against all these teams this year. You go up against the Cowboys. Brandon Graham getting in on it. Everything this team has done. The Dolphins, the Commanders, I mentioned the Rams, closing out games the way they've been able to close out games. And Hassan Reddick has been leading that charge. I remember in the early goings of the season, really through September, you're talking about how much of an impact that cast has on Hassan Reddick being able to get after the quarterback. Literally the second he got it off, 2 sacks. So, yeah, I think it mattered. No sacks before, 2 sacks immediately after. 0 to 6.5 in a month's time. Yeah, I think it mattered. I think all but one of his sacks has come in the fourth quarter. Brandon Graham, like I said, getting in. Josh Sweat getting in on it. Jalen Carter. Nakobe Dean. What this team has done to close out games as a defensive line, as defensive edge rushers, it's been spectacular. Because one of my biggest takeaways from the Super Bowl year, the year they won the Super Bowl, wasn't just Nick Foles and wasn't just the Philly special and all that stuff. Every single game, the Eagles defense came up with something special at the end of the game. Whether it was a sack, whether it was a turnover, mostly turnovers. But they came up and they did something that made you go, oh, that just flipped the script. This other team is threatening. This other team is threatening. What are they going to do? Boom, they come up with a sack. Boom, they come up with an interception. Boom, they come up with a fumble recovery. They make something happen. And this year feels a lot like that. In this past Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Eagles unfortunately lost, I kept waiting for that moment. Jonathan Gannon's defense was just never going to give us that moment. Not making adjustments in the second half. Weren't able to force any mistakes. And yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs are pretty good at football. Patrick Mahomes kind of knows what he's doing. But the defense never came up and made that special play. There's a couple of reasons why we can get to that, and I'm going to choose with just weren't good enough. I'm not going to choose the fact that the field sucked and benefited the Kansas City Chiefs more than it benefited the Philadelphia Eagles because the Eagles rely on edge rushers while they rely on Chris Jones, push right up the middle. But whatever, I'm not going to get into that. With this defense, I feel like when push comes to shove, I feel like they will be there at the end of the game to help you close it out. If the offense isn't clicking, the defense will have that fourth quarter play to say, hey, here's another opportunity to get it going, just like they did against the Dallas Cowboys. No better argument than what you just saw. Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat coming up huge in that game. So the fourth quarter sacks and fourth quarter closeouts have been tremendous to watch this season. And Hassan Reddick has been the leader in the clubhouse as far as that goes. My last one on this list, he's been a little quiet. He has had a half sack he got credited for against the Cowboys there. But for all intents and purposes, I'm flipping through different player of the year nominations, midway point of the season. Who do you got for Jalen Carter. Watching Jalen Carter this year has been one of my favorite things when it comes to the first 9 games of this Eagles season. He has been spectacular. He is everything I hoped he could be and more. And the comparisons to Jerome Brown, and I always try to pump the brakes on an NFL rookie above all else with a strong start. Like, I'll get all hyped for Tyrese Maxey in the NBA. Not a rookie, but a young player on the rise, you know? And being in a different role, I'm all hyped about. But Jalen Carter, any rookie in the NFL, especially an interior lineman, where you really got to rely on that man strength, you got to rely on that endurance, you got to rely on that stamina, and you got to be wary of the rookie wall at that position. I know Jordan Davis got hurt last year, but you saw him start to hit that wall a little bit. Jalen Carter, I don't know if he's going to hit that wall. And I am hyped as anything to watch him close out the year because I'm excited to see him maintain the level of play that he's been at. I don't think the bye week can come at a better time for him. Watching Jalen Carter this year has given me hope for the future of this defensive line. And I know the Eagles are always invested in the offensive and defensive line, but watching Jalen Carter this year in particular has been an absolute joy because teams will double team him. He'll fight through the double team. I'll see him line up ready to go full bore in a bull rush situation, come up slow, and then get right around the guy with a quick move. Watching him get through offensive lines has been spectacular. And to know that he's going to be here for a decade plus, to know that he's going to be here for like a Fletcher Cox amount of time is going to be, it's a joy. It's an absolute joy. 2 honorable mentions here. I mentioned Jalen Hurts at number 2. The number 1, once again, was 8-1. Philadelphia Eagles being an 8-1. But A.J. Brown and that 6-game streak that he had of 125-plus yards, realize this. So Jalen Hurts, youngest quarterback to go 8-1 in back-to-back seasons at the start of the year, or better, right? That's spectacular. No one's done it younger than him. No one in the history of the NFL has ever had a 6-game stretch as good as A.J. Brown. And we just watched that through 9 games this season. And I know it started on the sidelines with him, allegedly not talking about targets. I'm gonna say this. If it wasn't about targets for A.J. Brown, what did I say it was about at the time? I said, all right, if it's not about targets, what's it about? The answer is seeing the field, hitting receivers that are open. My argument at the time that if it wasn't about A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown said it wasn't about targets, if it wasn't about that, what was it about? Well, then maybe it was about seeing the wide receivers out there on the field. Maybe it was about knowing the scheme, knowing the game plan, knowing that they're open. Got to keep her eyes up. Maybe it was something that wasn't necessarily just about him individually, but maybe it was something about his position group. You're not seeing Devontae Smith. You're not seeing Olamide Zaccheaus. You're not saying I don't think Quez Watkins was even healthy at the time. Maybe it wasn't just about him. I still think it was about him, don't get me wrong, but maybe it wasn't. But watching A.J. Brown go through that stretch was spectacular. Watching A.J. Brown go up for a quote-unquote 50-50 ball, knowing the defensive back doesn't have a shot in hell, knowing that Jalen Hurts throwing into double coverage, sometimes triple coverage, but A.J. Brown's down there and goes, there's one green jersey down there, and there's 4 white jerseys down there. All right, A.J. Brown's got it. Slight exaggeration, but he's got it. A lot of times athletes will say things that are a little bold, and good for them. They should be confident, right? A.J. Brown last year saying my ball or nobody's ball, dead on accurate. A.J. Brown having the social media handle of always open, dead on accurate. Because he wants that ball. It's his ball or nobody's ball. The second honorable mention that I've loved about this season is that this season has played out exactly as I thought it would play out for the Dallas Cowboys. I want to be here's where I'm at. The Eagles are going to face the Cowboys again in a couple of weeks. And I had this conversation with Mike Missinelli during the pregame. We got done the pregame show. We went up to the green room at Oceans Casino, and we're all sitting up there. We're enjoying a meal, right? Watching the pregame end of the pregame festivities at Lincoln Financial Field. And I asked the question if anyone got buzz on their individual podcasts, Bill Colarulo, Mike Missinelli, Seth Joyner, about it being Dallas week, and the buzz wasn't there like it has been in years past. No, it's Dallas week. It's Dallas week. I didn't really get it until that Friday, and yes, a lot of it was because of the letdown of the Phillies. A lot of it was because the James Harden trade happened that same week, and it's something we've been looking forward to. A lot, so I didn't get the same buzz of Dallas week, but so I bring it up, and Seth Joyner, forget about it. Seth was, what are you talking about? It's always Dallas. Dallas week is the biggest thing ever, And I don't fault him for it. I'm talking about my own individual experience. I would expect Seth Joyner to say, if you see Dallas on your schedule and it's Monday and you see them on Sunday, it's Dallas week and you get ready to go. And I'm like, all right. Bill got a lot of it. Mike, not so much. And I agree with Mike on this because I feel the same way. And I had this thought during our pregame show at Oceans Casino. I had this thought. The Cowboys have become more and more of your little brother. The Cowboys have become more and more of like that younger cousin that wants to hang out with the older cousins, and you're playing basketball and they're on the sideline and they're watching you play and you're like, all right, come on out here, And then they play and you let them get a couple of shots up, right? You let them get a couple of shots up, but then when the game's on the line and they decide to let one loose, you block it in their face. You send it to the neighbor's yard. You send it to the schoolyard. You put it on the other basketball court. You reject it into another pickup game going on. Like, that's what the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm supposed to celebrate the fact that you beat the brakes off them? Like, don't get me wrong. The Cowboys, especially Dak Prescott, 8-4 now against the Eagles. He's been good against the Eagles, but we're talking about actually competing for a Super Bowl. Actually competing for a Super Bowl. Cowboys don't have a chance. I don't know if it was Pro Football Focus or who it was yesterday. I saw rankings of like the elite teams, the Eagles being up there, the Chiefs still being up there. There was one more team that's escaping, maybe the Lions. And then it had the contenders, like Super Bowl contenders, and the Cowboys were in that line. Oh, the Ravens. It was the Ravens as the elite team. And then it was the contenders. And like the Cowboys were in that list with 4 other teams. And I'm like, really? After that? Like, the Cowboys being a team that teases you, putting up all those points, a lot of them defensive, but all those points, and then losing to the Cardinals. Coming out, scoring all those points, and then getting embarrassed in front of a national audience by the San Francisco 49ers, a team that's supposed to be another contender. They got the brakes beat off of them. Dak Prescott looked shell-shocked in that game. And then they come in here with another opportunity. They kill the Rams. But then they come into Philadelphia with another opportunity there to show that they can be an elite team. And they hung with the Eagles. Congratulations on hanging with the Eagles. Who's it? Kyle Brandt always says, oh, congratulations on being part of the I hung with the Eagles club. But the Cowboys, it's so beautiful that the Cowboys had all those opportunities to try to really cash in and choked and came up short. Is the perfect example, the perfect illustration of how the Cowboys are the Cowboys. And I'm trying to look at this objectively. Like, we always hear that, maybe you haven't heard this, but I hear a lot that, the Cowboys' biggest rivalry isn't even the Eagles. The Cowboys' biggest rivalry is Washington. Over the years, it's been Washington. Well, I was talking with Derek Gunn last Friday. I was filling in for Rob Ellis on Sports Take. And we had a Dallas writer on, and he came on, and he's Todd Archer. And he came on from ESPN, and he came on and he said that really the Cowboys' biggest rivalry is whoever is the next best team in the NFC. So, yes, mostly it has been the Philadelphia Eagles of the last 20 years. He goes, but historically, you talk about the Giants. Historically, you talk about the Washington team, But, yes, most recently, it has been the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm thinking about it like this. Do the Eagles have a rivalry then in the NFC East? Really? Like, in terms of another Super Bowl contender in the NFC East? No. I mean, the Giants have won 2 over the last 20, 25 years. The Eagles have won. Washington. That's just a lot. Oh, thank you. Whoo! Whoo! Oh, Washington is Super Bowl. That's I don't even know I don't know what came over me. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, and the Cowboys, even funnier. So one of the things I've really enjoyed about this start for the Eagles is how the Cowboys became that little brother. And they've become this team that is it's like they oh wow, we let them get a couple shots up, let them score a couple buckets, let them make it feel good, made them get close to the goal line and then take it away, get close to the goal line and then stop them, get a touchdown and then don't quite let them get the 2-point conversion. It's hilarious to me. So look, you see the star. You're always going to hate that. You're always going to just, I hate it. But when it comes to the reality of it all, they're not a threat. I don't look at the Dallas Cowboys as a threat. And to really enjoy the rivalry, both teams got to be good. And yeah, going into this game, oh yeah, there was a lot on the line. But then the way the Cowboys lost, the Cowboys are dangerously. The Cowboys are dangerously flirting with insignificance. That's what they're flirting with. Yeah, we're always going to get pissed at the Cowboys. We're always going to not like the Cowboys. But like in all seriousness, they're becoming that little brother, that little cousin that's just not up to the task. Yeah, we'll let you play. Come on in. You can play. All right, if I want to get close to the goal line, yeah, you can get close to the goal line. I'll throw you a couple of passes. But, when it's coming down to the wire, we're going to send your shot in the next yard, and we're going to tackle. You're playing at Thanksgiving. A lot of Thanksgiving traditional games coming up here. I know my family, this is what we did. This is what we did with a lot of my younger cousins. We let them hit the ball. We let them get close to the touchdown, the end zone, and then boom! Sorry, Doug. Sorry, Greg. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Tim. 21 first cousins on my mother's side of the family. I am the fourth oldest on that side. So a lot of younger cousins we had to initiate over the years. They're all now the Dallas Cowboys. Wah, wah. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at as far as the first half of the season has gone for the Eagles at the bye week. Some of my favorite things that I've watched so far this season. I just have in my notes because I like to write notes where it's a trigger for me, and it's just Cowboys still suck. That's literally my note for my honorable mention. So that's what I'm looking at so far this season when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. What are you guys going to do during the bye week, Besides ogle pictures of Jason Kelce, sexiest man of the year. All right, let's get into basketball. I told you guys earlier, this is the only time I'm ever going to do this, and I'm ashamed that I'm actually doing it. This is the Philadelphia 76ers. This is the Eastern Conference standings. The Boston Celtics, 5-1. The 76ers, 5-1. Atop the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks, they suck. They have 2 losses. Jeez, they have 2 losses. You know who the Bucks have lost to, by the way? The Bucks have lost to the Raptors and the Hawks. That's who they've lost to. Up after that, the Hawks are 4-3. The Pacers 4-3. The Orlando Magic 4-3. Blah 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 blah. Sixers, Celtics, they are atop the standings. They tip off at 7:00 tonight. Drew Holiday is averaging just under 12 points per game, about 8 assists per game. He's having himself a fine time. Jason Tatum's averaging about 30 a game. This, and it always will be, not just because they're both 5-1, but because we knew going into it they were going to be 2 of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. I would really like it for the Sixers to not start 0-2 against the Bucks and the Celtics in the 2023-2024 season. I'd greatly appreciate that. I like the Sixers tonight. Celtics are one hell of a basketball team, as we know. Drew Holiday is doing great things for them. Jason Tatum continues to do great things for them. Kristaps Porzingis, let's not forget that he's up there in Boston. They are one hell of a squad. Jaylen Brown, blah, blah, blah. We all know. As much as I hate the Celtics, especially more so in recent years, because they're a better rivalry sports-wise, just on the court-wise, on the surface of play-wise than the Dallas Cowboys. I know nothing will ever trump football, nothing will ever top football, but in terms of a real sports rivalry for the Sixers, of a team that just can't get past, it is the Boston Celtics. Couple of game sevens in the playoffs in recent years, all that. I am hyped for this game. My day will revolve around 7 p.m. tonight. And there's a lot going on today for me. But today, it's all about 7 o'clock, being in my seat, in my den, right? Having this game on, ready to go. I've talked about Joel Embiid, and I talked about Nick Nurse yesterday. I talked about Nick Nurse's rotations and all that, and how much I think they're great. And it's especially a great process right now for filling out starting out the season with kind of this feeling out process of what you're going to get from Jaden Springer as the year goes on, what you're going to continue to get from Paul Reed coming off the bench, what you're going to get for some other guys like Kelly Oubre in the starting lineup, going back to the bench, starting lineup, that kind of thing. What you're going to get from Marcus Morris, what you're going to get from Nicholas Batum, newly minted 76er, all that. I love what he's done so far with his rotations. But one of the guys I haven't even talked about yet is Tobias Harris. And I said in the offseason, there's a couple of people that I'm really looking forward to seeing what Nick Nurse does for him. And one is Tyrese Maxey. Pascal Siakam came into the NBA. And don't get me wrong, the vast majority of the credit goes to Pascal Siakam. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying Nick Nurse waved some magic wand and all of a sudden Siakam was good. I'm not saying that even a little bit. But what I am saying is that you need a coach that knows how to put you in the right direction. And I don't feel like, unfortunately, the talent was a willing participant under Brett Brown. I don't feel like the talent was a willing participant into Doc Rivers. I just don't think that was the case, unfortunately. And, of course, in that I'm talking about a guy named Ben Simmons. But when you have a willing participant like Tyrese Maxey is to improve, to work hard, to be better. I mean, one of the things that really sticks out to me about Tyrese Maxey, obviously number one is the court, what he does on the court. The number two is listening to him or listening to Doc Rivers talk about Tyrese Maxey, where the Sixers just got eliminated from the playoffs, and Tyrese Maxey's on the phone with Doc Rivers the next day, and Doc Rivers is answering the phone by saying, why are you calling me? Why are you calling me right now? And he goes, well, Coach, I know we talked yesterday, clean out, but I just want to talk about my offseason regimen, what I need to be doing, and all that stuff. He's like, go on vacation. That's your first, take a week, go on vacation, relax, and then you come back to work. Okay, Coach, whatever you need, Coach. I love that. That's a willing participant. Pascal Siakam was a willing participant. Tyrese Maxey is that. So with Nick Nurse coming here, there was two players. One was Tyrese Maxey. The other is Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris being in a contract year obviously helps things a little bit. Not having James Harden obviously helps things a little bit, and him being able to shine a wee bit more. But when it comes to Tobias Harris, we have not seen this level of play from Tobias Harris in a very, very long time. The guy the Sixers traded for from the LA Clippers is the guy you're seeing right now with Tobias Harris. Over the years here in Philadelphia, we've seen many times over different variations of Tobias Harris. But it is pretty phenomenal right now to see the Tobias Harris that is averaging 19.7 points per game, his highest average since 2020-2021, as a full-blown Sixer, if you will. From beyond the arc, he is shooting 40%. We haven't seen him shoot 40% since his last year with the LA Clippers, where he shot 43%. When you talk about a field goal percentage for Tobias Harris, he right now has the highest field goal percentage of his career at 63. Now, again, it's 6 games into a season, but it's this very small sample size of Nick Nurse being Tobias Harris's head coach. It's a very small sample size. Tobias Harris, once again, being the third man in And he hasn't been the third man in the offensive set since Jimmy Butler was here, when it was Jimmy and it was Joel and it was Toby. J.J. Redick was there for threes. Ben Simmons was there to bring the ball up. Until it was the playoffs, then it was Jimmy Butler. But you get what I'm saying. So all those things factored in have added into this very good start for Tobias Harris. So in the offseason, I want to see Tyrese Maxey improve. Oh, my goodness gracious, have we seen that? I wanted to see James Harden traded. Yes, that's happened, okay? And then I wanted to see what Tobias Harris would do with Nick Nurse as his head coach. I said this last week to distill it even further. What I said last week was, I believe that this level of play was always there in Tobias Harris. Unfortunately, it was you had a lot of talent. James Harden being here, you had a lot of talent. So the numbers wouldn't dictate that Tobias Harris was worth anything close to the max contract that he was getting. And although still true that he's not worth a max contract, I still believe that this level of talent was there in him. It just wasn't his role. There were struggles. I'm not ignoring the fact that he couldn't finish at the rim. I'm not ignoring the fact that he couldn't hit the three with the consistency that he had in years past. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not denying that as his offense struggled, his defense started to get better. So that's an improvement, certainly, in a role that he could have maybe embraced a little bit earlier on in his Sixers career. But watching him this season gives me hope that we're going to get the absolute max value out of that max contract from Tobias Harris. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star. I'm not saying he's going to compete for an MVP. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying this. Of the money he has been paid at that max level, we're going to get him at the closest to actually being worth that contract. And that was a big ask going into this year. And so far, in the very limited time we have seen him, you can label it as a very good start for Tobias Harris. You can label it as a great start for Tobias Harris. For the Embiid, Maxey, Harris, Nurse 76ers, this is a great start. It gives me a lot of hope about tonight. And you win this game. It's one of those situations where you can look at the rest of the season. You can look forward to these other matchups down the line with the Celtics, down the line with the Bucks, putting some separation between you and these other top teams in the Eastern Conference. As of right now, I don't see the Sixers being better than the Celtics for playoff contention. I see the Sixers right now as being, again, the third best team in the Eastern Conference. That all changes with how you play the Bucks. That all changes with how you play the Celtics. So of these games that you'll see this season, this is one of the biggest ones I'm looking forward to this year. So 7 o'clock tonight, my whole day will be revolved around it. So there you go. I do want to mention, unfortunately, the Philadelphia Flyers lost last night on the West Coast to the San Jose Sharks 2-1. Urson was in net for the loss, unfortunately. Joel Farabee had the lone Flyers goal. Lit the lamp in the second period, and then the Sharks came back and got the game winner in the third. Wah, wah. It was in overtime, by the way. No, it was not. Scusi, was not. It was not in overtime. The Celtics, this is what I failed to mention. Celtics are coming off an overtime loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards came up with 38 in that game on the Celtics. How about that? Let me tell you right now about MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Take advantage of all that MyBookie has to offer. And MyBookie.ag when you use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy at MyBookie.ag. Now, what does that get you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you walk past a $100 bill that was just lying on the ground, you would look down and you'd go, a $100 bill lying on the ground. And you pick it up and you put it in your pocket. Well, that's what MyBookie is offering right now, ladies and gentlemen, when you use promo code Farzy. You see it in the crawl right there. Up to $100 redeemable deposit bonus. Bet on basketball, bet on football, bet on whatever you like at MyBookie.ag. Just use promo code Farzy and take advantage of all they have to offer at MyBookie.ag. The absolute best. Use MyBookie and use promo code Farzy. Take advantage of all they have to offer. Let's get involved right now in the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine Wednesday morning. Oh, my goodness gracious. I got the Farzy Show page loaded. I don't have – what's going on, Jacob Media? I don't have it loaded. I thought I had it loaded. I did not have it loaded. Now I do. Let's start it off on the Jacob Media. Let's start it on Jacob Media. See how you guys are doing today. Whoa, holy Lord. Wow. This is why I didn't want to start on Jacob Media, but I'm starting on Jacob Media. Purdy Mania. Farzetta, I get that you're still sad from the Phillies. Okay. Oh, wow. Niners all damn day. They're supporting what Purdy Mania has to say. Oh, the President of the United States. Joseph Biden. What's up? Mark, the older brother of my good friend, Nicholas Sirianni. I am younger than Nick Sirianni. I am a full year younger than Nick Sirianni. You stop it with that hogwash. Why are all the Niners fans up so early? This is a Niners chat. Hey, Mark, why did Harper go 0 for 4 in Game 7? Because he choked. That's why. See, when our team chokes, we acknowledge it. We don't go, who got hurt? Let me tell you something. Dungeness crabs suck, okay? Dungeness crabs are trash, okay? You want a real crab, all right? You come to the East Coast, you go to a little town called Baltimore, Maryland, all right? And you get yourself a real damn crab, okay? Forget about your Dungeness crab. Dungeness crab, it's a lot like the 49ers. Tough on the outside, nothing, no substance in the middle, no substance. They got a couple claws full of meat, and that's about it. Although you're probably a bandwagon Niners fan, so you've probably never been in San Francisco or Santa Clara. But anyway. Tone is a Biden. Oh, my God. Please, no, I hate politics. I despise politics. I mean, unless you're going to come in the chat named after the President of the United States, then that's funny. But when you talk about somebody else's political tendencies, I don't care. I don't care. I hate politics. I hate it. On a day where like you're leading up to an election day and you got to see all the political ads. Who's the one? I don't know why the guy's name stuck out of my head. Doug Mastriani. Who is the other dude that's now in the thing with the people and he wears shorts? That guy? Yeah. I hate all the political ads. Oh, man. Dr. Oz was great, though. That was fun. The Dr. Oz ads. Oh, man. They were fun. Sometimes they're great. Dr. Oz is the biggest piece of crap ever to exist in humanity. John Fetterman is a slightly less piece of crap. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Once John Fetterman punched my mother in the face. That's why I'm doing this political ad against him. Sorry, that's me scratching an itch, literally and figuratively. What the hell? Mark, I know even you could pass on the Eagles defense. Hey-o. What else we got? Thank you, Niners, all the damn day. Mazzy Smith got shut down by the bench. Thanks, Twiz. Wait, did somebody say that? Wait, Eagles fan, Carter has. Yes. Why? Did somebody say Carter has one move? Yeah, no, Carter is pretty great. Witherspoon is Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's adorable. Aiden Wynn feels awesome going into the bye week. Twiz, I agree. Mid-play. That's a great name. Robert M. Mid-play Slay, James Sadberry, and Reed Sunkenship are terrible in coverage. This past defense has given up almost 800 yards through the air in 2 games. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. If Dallas has a bad if Davis has a bad hammy, why are they sending him out? I don't know, Purdy. That's a great question. You know what? Good job by you. Bro, some of the biggest Eagles homers say they can't see the Eagles winning with the pass defense, says Joe Biden. Thank you again, Mr. President. Mark, let me see some pics with hair. Really, Emma? I don't think I have any pics with hair. Locked and loaded, ready to go. Yeah, I don't think I do. Oh, wait, you know what? Hold now. All right, I'm just going to do this real quick, and this isn't going to take long for the people on the podcast. Bear with me. I don't think I have any pics. That'd be really weird if I had a whole bevy of pictures of me just ready to go. Oh, wait, no, check this one out. I don't know. I think maybe on my Instagram. Yeah, I don't know. Kenneth Gainwell, what's up? Isn't it early? They're Niners. What? Yes. Whoa, geez, I'm just pushing buttons over here. Shouldn't do that. Cowboys usually make it past their first. Yes, I used to host the show at the Fanatic. Yes, I did. Those were some good times. Shy, the secondary is better. Now there's an argument breaking out. Oh, here you go. Twiz, this is a good point. Tobias Harris always played well when he was the main guy with Embiid out, but always seems to get lost in the shuffle in the past. That's 1,000% agree with that. With Harden being out, I think it's only helped him. Oh, man, 007. Great name, first and foremost. Second, if Mahomes was doing what Hurts was doing on one leg, he'd be the runaway MVP. Hurts is still behind Mahomes, who's having his worst year of his career. Talk about Philly hate. Low bet. What's up, Eagles fan? Everyone, nice to see you. Dude, why can't Farzy read? Because I'm reading other people's words, and I don't want to mess them up. Jump over to the Farzy Show chat, see what's going on over here. Hello, everyone. Pat Carty? That's Pat Carty. Do I know you? My dad laminated an SI swimsuit issue. There you go. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sean Kilray. Good morning, IBH. Mike Fuji, what's going on? Happy hump day, Mark. Thank you very much. Good day, folks. Big key matchup tonight for the Sixers. Absolutely. Hopefully, Roby is back and stays healthy. IBH, I agree. This secondary and nickel package is pain in the keister. Is that supposed to be keister? Through 9 games, Reddick leads the Eagles with 7.5 sacks. Sweat second with 6.5. I see big things for this duo and more, says Sean Kilrain. I'm with you. Sean Kilrain, Bryce Callahan, the corner, has played for Vic Fangio or Fangio's disciples throughout his career. And Sean Desai comes from his coaching tree, so the learning curve shouldn't be too steep for him. That's true. Bringing another back. I like it. Cornerback that is. No, it wouldn't hurt to add him. Thank God. Real chat. What up, Farzy? Real time. What's going on? Travis Ritkin. What's up, man? Hurts is legend ankle? Legend ankle? Or not Warriors beat that ass like he did it with Waddle. Okay. That was me reading. What was there? April, good morning. What's up, April? Dallas is a threat. I wish they weren't, but yeah, I think it's no, I agree. But that's why I'm saying they're dangerously close to insignificance. They lose to the Eagles in a couple weeks. Yeah, they're not really a threat. They're not a real threat, people. If they lose. Morning, Farzy. John Cheeseborough, what's going on? Sean Gillespie, still way too early in the season, in the NBA season, about 76 more games to go. Yes, exactly 76 more games to go. John Cheesebro, good morning. Clippers, Kawhi, playoff, P, the beard, what a lineup. Yeah. Everyone's saying hello to one another. John Cheesebro, Celtics should be a good test, seeing as how the Sixers have a new energy and an actual bench. I agree. Wow, John, that is a pull. That is a pull right there. Either way, if they lose, you can always blame Sealski. It's been a minute since we've blamed Sealski for everything. Oh, good. Red Cowboys fans in their other chat. Yeah, I know. Red Cowboys fans, is that what we're calling the Niners people? Because that's funny. Please, no, I use this to escape politics. Thank you, April. April hates politics. Why are the Winers fans on the Philly sports chat confirmation? They live in their heads rent-free. John Cheeseborough? Absolutely. Can you imagine going on an opposing team chat? IBH, I really can't. I will say, though, in fairness, since the Eagles beat the Cowboys, I've seen more Cowboys content creators coming up in my scroll posted by Philadelphia sports outlets or platforms. But I don't do it because I don't care. In the rearview mirror already. That's how I do it. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Damon pulls back on the Farzy Show, or whatever, or the Jacob. Farzy doesn't know football. I'm saying the political ads, Damon. I don't give a damn. I'm just mocking the political ads. Here, just to put it there. Dr. Oz is fantastic. Fetterman's an idiot. That's what I'm saying. That's there. I don't care. Fetterman's a lunatic. I'm not saying he's great. All right. I'm not going there. Thank you for that. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are fantastic. 7 o'clock tonight. Sixers tip-off at the Boston Celtics. I can't wait for it. I'm stoked for it. It's going to be one of the greatest things ever. Let's get to the Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Ladies and gentlemen, my profound apologies. I missed a big day yesterday. Yesterday was the birthday of PJ. Happy birthday, PJ. Producer Jim. Happy birthday. Thanks, everyone who watched. See, this one I mock politics generally, and now people are like, these are the sides you choose. All right. Thanks, everyone who watched. Thanks, everyone who listens. Appreciate it. You guys are great, as per usual. April saying, happy birthday, PJ. Happy birthday, PJ. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, check out the great people at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station. Enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's phlsportstation.com. Also, check out Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Tonight. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Be on the lookout for a Sixers Celtics postgame show right here on the Farzy Show YouTube channel, okay? Now, here's the only thing that's going to prevent that from happening. Okay. Ready? My son got sick at school. Okay. Then my daughter got sick. Now my wife is sick. And as probably more so than anyone, the people on the podcast can hear, a little nasally, got a little bit of a headache. Taking my daughter to the doctor in a couple hours. I think I'm next. I think that's the way it works. My son got sick. He's about to be 2. Daughter's 4. Wife, much older than that. And me, I'm next. That's how it works, right? Usually I have an amazing immune system. It's just allergies. Allergies is the only thing that'll get me. This one doesn't. This one feels like it's hitting different. So the only thing that will prevent that is if the whole house is sick and I'm the last man standing. Last human standing. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic as per usual. I will catch you guys. I will catch you guys hopefully tonight after Sixers Celtics. Jim Hyden produced the program, the belated birthday boy himself. I'm Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff as well. Catch you guys later. See ya.